So, we are live on Tuesday as usual, and I do have people on the other side of that door, so you will hear some like toddler play, which I love. And I start off with a song, but I want to make sure if you are watching live that you put live down in the comments below. Let me know that you are here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I have a question for you guys tonight, and it's if you could make one change in the world around you. And I don't mean the entire world, I just mean like your direct sphere of influence. So if you could make one change in the world around you, what would that change be? So if you have an answer to that, drop it down in the comments below. And let me pull back open the lyrics because last thing I want to do is start singing and then like screw up the lyrics while we are waiting for a few other people to hop on here. It says there's already 6 people watching. Somebody comment, let me know you're here. Facebook's a little laggy, so I might not see the comment right away. All right. Hey Lee, what's up, man? Seattle, all right. Best coffee ever, I hear. Okay. I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. So I picked that song specifically because I am just so inspired by my clients recently. If you don't know, my clients are movement makers. We create a movement, we take their brand, we turn it into a movement, and we utilize Facebook group communities because honestly, Facebook is the best social platform out there for businesses. So that being said, my clients are creating movements. One of my clients, she created her movement, and it is all about the ripple effect and how sowing like one seed of kindness can just change the world around you completely. And she has some of the most incredible stories. I can't wait to see her telling these stories up on stages. It just gives me chills every time I think about it. Oh my gosh, I just got chills right now. Every single time. So I asked a question earlier. If you haven't gotten the question yet, it's if you could make one change in the world around you, and I don't mean the entire world, I just mean your direct sphere of influence. If you could make one change in the world around you, what would that change be? So this is an AMA. If you have a question, drop it down in the comments below. Morgan, live from Buffalo. That's amazing. Live from Seattle, live from Buffalo. I'm in Oklahoma, not by choice. This is where the Army sent us. But before I get any questions, because I'm waiting for people to ask questions in the comments, I do want to point out, like I was talking to one of my clients today, and we took our call from talking about her group and helping her with her Facebook group and her community and stuff like that. We took that call and we turned it into a coaching session because honestly, that's what she needed. And one of the things that we talked about is that it's okay to not be okay all the time. Because when you are pursuing a dream that is bigger than you are, that goes beyond what you are capable of doing on your own, there are going to be obstacles. There are going to be hard things that come across your path. Like for instance, for me, the journey that led me here, it took me having one of my kids. I have 5 kids, and it took me having one of my kids. His name is Israel. He's 12 years old now. And when he was 11 last year in July, He started having seizures out of nowhere. We didn't actually know that he was having them. I thought he was having some kind of incontinence. And the way that we found out that he was having seizures was he ended up picking up a hot pan and his hands were on the pan and he got 2nd and 3rd degree burns on his hands. Like his hands, like his fingers and his palms looked like egg noodles. It was really bad. I was kind of freaking out a little bit as a mom. But when that happened, we ended up finding out that it was due to a brain tumor. And I tell you what, like, I questioned everything. And it was extremely hard. There were all kinds of obstacles that we came up against and that we faced during that time to where I wouldn't know when he was going to have a seizure. There was no rhyme or reason. It couldn't be planned. And life became difficult. And we had to completely shift what we were doing last year. But if I'm 100% honest, the growth that I have had, the growth that my son has had, and I'm not saying that I wish that I would wish this upon him again. Like if we could change it, if there was anything we actually could have done, obviously the answer would be no. But the growth that we've had, and just so you know, there is a bright side to that story. My son had brain surgery back in March and the brain tumor was removed. And he has been seizure free ever since. And he's had 4 skin graft surgeries and he can actually like extend his hands fully again because we've had an amazing hand therapist and amazing skin graft doctors to do that for us. But the idea and the concept is that the hard times are what make the good times feel so good. It makes you really appreciate what's happening. And not only that, but the hard times and the struggles are what really prove how strong you are and how much you're able to grow. I tell you that like when I've had things easy and when life has been good, I've had very little growth. It is when I've had difficulties or struggles that I've had the most growth. And I'm telling you, like, it's okay to not be okay sometimes. It's okay to have a bad day or a bad week. In my case, I had a bad couple of months, but I got to a point where I realized that I was sitting there staring at my kids and I was telling them, you know, you can do and you can be whatever you want. All you have to do is pursue it and pursue it with all your might. And my kids looking back at me, I reflected myself and I was like, are you pursuing the dreams that you have? Are you really chasing it down with all of your might? And man, that was a pivotal moment for me. That's what led me here. And my business has grown exponentially to the point where I have several clients that I'm helping their businesses grow. I have clients reaching out to me, giving me testimonials that are just like phenomenal. People telling me that one call with me was absolutely life-changing. And it just, if I hadn't had that moment where my son was going through all of that and where I looked at my kids and told them that they could do whatever they wanted, if I hadn't had that moment of going through those struggles, of going through those obstacles and facing them head on and moving forward and moving past them, I wouldn't be helping other people's businesses. I wouldn't be changing other people's lives. And we certainly wouldn't be making movements that are going to extend our reach beyond ourselves because we can't do this alone. So, moral of the story, if you have a business and you're wanting to scale, know that you're not going to be able to do it on your own. Maybe you have to hire somebody. Maybe you have to delegate something. Maybe you have to get a nanny like I just did. I'm so excited. I got a nanny. So the thing that's the biggest for me, and if you want to celebrate with me, you can drop like a little like clapping emoji or like the little like party one where I don't know what those blower things are called with the party hat and little streamers. But the biggest thing for me with hiring a nanny is that I know that my kids are having fun during the day because I know my 13-year-old did not want to watch her siblings. And so when she was watching her siblings over the summer, I would have my 6-year-old and my 3-year-old come and tell me how, you know, Journey didn't let us do anything. Journey told us no a lot. And it's just, you know, I shouldn't have put her in that situation, but I didn't know any better. And now I know better, I can do better, right? So I got a nanny. I know my kids had fun today. I know my kids, Journey started school this last week. My other kids are starting school in the next week. And I know that Journey was able to accomplish her school. Journey also stepped up and she's helping with food. And I know that food is covered and food is made because I'm allowing people to help. I'm allowing people to have tasks delegated to them. Yes, thank you for celebrating with me. I asked a question, nobody's answered it yet, so I'd love to know if you guys could make one change in the world around you, what would that change be? And I'm not talking about the entire world, just in your direct sphere of influence. What kind of change would you like to see around you? I know some of the immediate changes that we've made is, I don't want to say up-leveling, but elevating our environment to fit what meets our needs. One of the big changes that we made most recently was we finally put in our new garden outside. My husband loves the grass. Our grass is the best in the neighborhood, and that's been like his baby. So he finally got in the garden that he wanted, and we put in like a front porch with fans, and just changing out the fans, like switching from light fixtures to fans in the hot Oklahoma weather. It's now enjoyable to sit outside. We sit outside almost every single day, and we have these family moments, and with a few tangible things, we've created this environment to just enjoy each other. It's really, really cool how something so small can make such a big impact. And so if you could make one change in the world around you, what would it be? That's my question for tonight. If you guys have any questions, I want you to drop them down in the comments below. And if you are tuning in live and you haven't said this yet, let me know where you're tuning in from. So since nobody's dropped any well, actually, looks like I have to scroll. Hi, Daylene, how are you? I had said this earlier. I said it's okay to not be okay sometimes. I'm going to let you know that I still have moments. Like I mentioned my son earlier. I'm not sure if you heard that. If you hadn't, you have to go back and listen. But when my son was going through all that stuff, like I still have moments sometimes where, like we were watching a YouTube video and it was supposed to be funny. And this guy was sharing music and stuff like that. Hey, Brent in Australia, that's amazing. Great to have you on here. He was playing music and he was playing it so well. The kid was oh, he was floored. He was excited. And then he pretended to have a seizure. And in that moment that he was having a seizure, it looked to me like it was possibly real. It kind of freaked me out for a second, and I just cried. And I didn't know at the time, but I realized that, it's okay to be sad sometimes. Things are going to be difficult and they're going to be hard, and it's probably not ever going to go away fully. But it's just like over time, when difficult or hard situations happen, you just learn to accept it. And it's kind of, this is a really bad story, but like my husband has had like some joint pain and stuff from stuff that he did when he was younger, and then a couple more recent injuries. But every once in a while he'll start limping around and I'll be like, "Are you okay, babe?" And he's like, "Yeah, my knee's just hurting." And I was like, "How long has that been happening?" And he's like perpetually, nonstop. And there's this really funny meme that goes around, and it says, the doctor asks, well, on a, like, how much pain are you having? And the guy says, "Oh, the normal amount." And the doctor's like, "The normal amount is 0. The normal amount is none." And so it's one of those things, though, that my husband just kind of grew to accept the pain as being normal. And then like actually going to the occupational therapy and going to the chiropractor. And when he does that stuff continually, the pain is gone. But most of the time, the pain is just a normal thing that he lives with. And it's one of those things that he still functions. He still moves forward. He's still able to find joy in the moment. He's still able to do other things. And the idea is that there's going to be hard and difficult situations that you come across, but eventually you'll be able to accept them. And just because you're coming across something difficult doesn't mean that it has to stop you and prevent you from moving forward. So April, hi April. Hi Mario. There's another Mario that's over in the UK, and I believe that they pronounce it Mario. So I was just looking at your profile picture to make sure which one it was. Okay, so April says, "What drives you in your career?" Honestly, from the time that I was little, I really wanted to be a successful businesswoman. I grew up watching my mom, and I always saw her as being very successful, and she was always happy and loving life and enjoying her time. Like, she loved her job. She also loved her time at home, and just seeing her in that, it really boosted me to want to create something myself, but also from a young age, I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I wanted to create it for myself. So I think one of the biggest things that drives me right now is knowing that, you know, I helped myself, you know, in building my business. Then I helped my family in building my business. The next step that I saw was helping my clients and seeing them have wins. My client wins are some of my favorites, but now I've started hiring onto my team with my business and being able to change people's life, being able to be the person who writes the paycheck that helps somebody else's family is a really huge deal for me. So that's one of the things that drives me personally. Great question. I'd love to know what drives you. What drives you in your career? What drives you in what you do? Okay, so what are you selling? Do I have a business right now? I actually talked about it at the very beginning. So yes, there's a ton of Facebook groups online and looking for a client to write copy. Cool. I love that. I know a lot of copywriters and I know a lot of business owners. So if you're looking for something specific, just let me know. But as far as what I do for my business, I created Cierra Lueck Consulting. I launched that in May and started taking my first clients. I developed a program called the C5 Strategy. And what that is there's a bunch of Facebook groups out there. Yep, I will check it when I'm not on live, man. But there's a lot of Facebook groups out there that they're either super spammy, like all you see is just people advertising all the time that nobody responds to because honestly nobody cares. Or, you know, they're just completely platonic, like people aren't really making real connections in the group. It's all just like, you know, somebody hawking their next program or their next book or their next, I don't know, small ticket offer. If you are from the ClickFunnels world, then you know you build your like $7 offer and then your $27 offer and then your $97 offer and then your $997 offer. You know, you build all these offers or whatever. There's a lot of groups out there like that. Some groups are dead, absolutely dead, where somebody created it, they grew like wildfire, everyone was all excited at the beginning, but then there was nothing of substance there to keep them. And so they just, over time, they die. So you have these groups of several thousand people, but nobody's posting. And then there's other groups where, you know, the admin creates it, but the admin is so controlling over what happens in the group that only the admin posts get likes. Only the admin posts get comments, and people aren't really connecting with each other and creating those real connections that build a community. So what I help my clients do is I help them build a community around their business and around their offer, but we do it with a purpose. We take their brand and we turn it into a movement, and that's what the C5 strategy is all about. So that's what my business is. Thank you, Mario, for the great question. Ooh, chicken or the egg question from Mike. Is it bad to hire a VA before I have revenue? Part of me thinks a VA will get me to the revenue faster. It 100% depends, because I don't know if you've done a valuation of your time, but I mean, a VA, like are you spending time on like the $10 an hour task? Is your time worth more than that? How much money do you have the potential to make in an hour if you pulled on a few other clients? That's how I would consider that. And, you know, maybe you don't hire on a VA that's a few $1,000s right away. Maybe you hire on a VA that's a little bit less expensive that can do some of the $10 an hour task for you. That's where I would start. And there's a lot of great VAs out there. In fact, if you want more information on a great VA agency, I have a friend that I can connect you with, and she can get you in connection with that VA agency. And I'm pretty sure it's affordable. I'll ask her and make sure before I give it to you. But she loves her VA. Her VA actually hired a second VA for her, and then also hired another VA for her husband. So it must be pretty good, right? Does anyone else have any other questions as far as you could ask about business, social media? Somebody actually asked me the other day, do you answer questions about copywriting? Sure do. I help my clients with that whenever we're working on their group and we're building out what their content is going to be for their group. I help them hone in their copywriting for their group. So like whatever kind of questions you guys want to know, you drop it down in the comments below. It is Ask Me Anything, so it could be about personal life. I shared a little bit about my son's story at the beginning and how it affected me. and then how you work through it. Because I think this is one of the resounding things that I keep saying, is that it's okay to not be okay all the time. It's okay to have days where you're down. It's okay to have sad days. It's okay to have mad days. It's okay to not be okay all the time, and to be able to just still move forward and be productive in your life, whether that's planning or actually taking action and completing things. I'm not going to check my inbox on live. How many children? I have 5 kids. I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. So my kids are ages 13, 12, 10, 6, and 2. And they're all brilliant and beautiful, and I love them. And I'm also biased because I'm their mom. But it's also true. Does anyone else have any other questions? We're doing Ask Me Anything, and man, we are 20 minutes in. I sang a song at the beginning. I always do. I start with a song while we wait for people to hop on, because just in case you don't know about live videos, on whenever you go live on Facebook, it takes a few minutes for Facebook to kind of bring an audience to listen to you. And then sometimes it's just the people who are currently online. So if there's some people who are online and they're not interested in what you're saying, those people will hop off, and then they'll go get more to see who's actually going to interact with you. Yeah, really good. It's okay to have a bad day, and important thing is just to keep moving forward, to not let those bad things stop you and hold you back. Yeah. Mario, where are you from? Like, what time is it where you're at? Because it's like 7:24 here in Oklahoma. So if you guys don't have any other questions, then I will go ahead and hop off for the night and go clean up all my office stuff and plan my day for tomorrow, and then spend time with my family and have dinner and stuff. But if you guys have questions, I'm here for you. I'm here for my audience. I'm here for all the people who are out there listening. The song I sang at the beginning was "A Million Dreams" from The Greatest Showman. And it's so funny. The question I asked that nobody answered, by the way, is if you could make one change in the world around you, what would it be? What's the change that you would make? From the Philippines. Awesome. Awesome. I think I have a few other friends that are in the Philippines. Actually, I think that's where my friends' VAs are from. Oh, there's flies in the house. 8:25 in the morning. Holy smokes. So is that 13 hours? You're 13 hours ahead of us. Crazy. Crazy. I'm actually going to write that down because I think that's really cool. I have one client in the UK, and he's 6 hours ahead. I had some other client calls with, oh, you missed it. What'd you miss? The song? Me talking? I'm doing Ask Me Anything, so you can still ask me a question. I'm still here. We are live, so I'm still here. How are you doing, Dre? I know I need to get back to you in Messenger. I know you were talking to me the other day, and guys, honestly, I get like 30 to 40 Messenger conversations a day. So if I haven't reached back out to you, reach back out to me. Yeah, the song. What's the biggest mistake people are making with Facebook groups? Ooh. The biggest mistake. So it really depends on the Facebook group itself, and whether you are the owner of the Facebook group or you're coming from like the member side of it. I would say the biggest mistake being made with Facebook groups is people are not treating them like a community. They are 100%, the algorithm is designed so that it is a community, and it is community focused and community centered. So if you are not actually creating a community where people are engaging with each other and interacting with each other and building that sense of camaraderie, then you're losing out on what the whole purpose behind Facebook groups is. I don't know if you guys know this, but I think it was earlier this year that Facebook actually created a Super Bowl commercial. They paid several $1 million to have a Super Bowl commercial, and it was all about Facebook groups, and they were boosting Facebook groups, but they were boosting it from the mentality of it being a community. I see you crushing it, so it's all good. Yep, we are, but that's a choice. That's a choice that I have to make daily. It's one of those things that there's a scripture that I really like, or that I liked growing up, and it was, I die daily. But the whole idea was that it's a daily decision. And so there's something I say in my morning formula that I do every single day. And it's that today I choose now to show up as the best version of myself. And on the days when I don't feel that, because sometimes you say the same thing enough to where it loses its luster or its appeal. And so sometimes I'll switch it up and I'll say, are you choosing to show up as the best version of yourself today? And I'll really think about it. Like, what's the version of myself that I need to show up as today to make sure that I'm meeting the purpose and the design for what today's all about? Like today, Tuesdays are my client days, and I spend a lot of time with my clients. So all in the feels because I love my clients. Do I need to do themed days in my Facebook group, Motivation Monday and such? That is a great question. One of my clients recently asked me that question, and I'm going to tell you no. That is a bad idea. And the reason why is because it puts limitations. It puts limitations on your group members to where they feel like they can only post about that information on those specific days. And I'll tell you this right now, if I have a win, I don't want to only post wins on Winning Wednesday. If I have a win and I'm excited about it now, I want to post it like right freaking now. I don't want to have to wait. And you don't want to put your members in bondage to where they feel like they can't post. So that's a great idea if you are posting on a page. Like if you are needing ideas for a Facebook page, or if you're needing ideas for an Instagram or for a Twitter or something like that, and you are just putting out entertaining content for people to engage with you. But in a community where other people are going to be posting and it's not just you posting, you don't want it to be so limiting. So does anyone else have any other questions? That was a great question, by the way, Mike. I don't always pay attention to drop in the emojis, but that question's getting a love. And Mike, you've been making a lot of shifts and changes in your business. I've been watching you. You've been doing really, really good. I would keep moving forward. Whatever you do, keep moving forward. Don't get caught up in all the details. I said this on one of the trainings I did today for one of the clients I'm working with, and it's that at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter which decision you make or what you decide. It just matters that you make a decision and then move forward with the decision, because you are going to find out very quickly if that was a good or a bad decision. And to be real honest, a week is not enough time to find out. And even a month is really not enough time to find out if it was a good decision, to really test things out and see. And so when it comes to business and you're making a decision in business, you need to be moving forward with it. You need to be making decisions and make the decisions quickly, and then change them very slowly. Give them a real chance to carry out and follow through on that. Joel, I haven't seen you on here in forever, man. Where have you been? When did the CK light bulb go off for you? When I heard that it existed. I'm not gonna lie. So I read this amazing book. Actually, I don't keep very many books on my shelf right here, but this is one on my shelf. Let me grab it. I read this amazing book called The Intelligent Advertiser, and it blew my mind. One of the quotes in here, actually, let me see if I can just flip to it. Bom, bom, bom. Look at that. They didn't even know they were going to get a shout out today. I'm just going to have to butcher the quote and say it the best I can because I don't remember where it's at. My mom let me borrow the book back in January, and I had to order it and have it on my own shelf because I just didn't like the fact that I read a book and it wasn't on my shelf. But I took all my notes inside her book. So The Intelligent Advertiser, Taylor Welch says that if you have $1, or if you spend $1 and you make $2, you'll never be poor another day in your life. If you just Google The Intelligent Advertiser, I'm pretty sure it's like you just pay for shipping or something like that. It's really inexpensive. It's a great book though. And it's all about using ads to super boost your business and the right way to use it. and how to leverage it. So I didn't buy it on Amazon, but I did find it online. So if you wanted to look that up, it's by Chris Evans and Taylor Welch, The Intelligent Advertiser. You're around. This is an AMA. Where's those questions? Where's all the questions? So, I think, let me make sure I got the right person there. So that was Lee. When did the CK light bulb go off for you? So honestly, there are so many things that I've learned with my mentors and with my coaches that, after I got started with my mentors and coaches, it's just been such a rapid growth pattern. And one of the biggest lessons that I have learned while I've been growing my business, which has been like this, because, $7, not very much at all. Yeah. So affordable, Joelle. But as my business has been growing exponentially, the one thing that I've really learned is where I operated my business in May, because I grew my business in June, I could not operate my business in the same way. Like, I had to shift what I was doing. I had to shift who I was showing up as. I had to shift how I was serving my clients. And then in July, when I scaled again, and I scaled from where I was at in June to July to, like, I more than doubled what I made. I think I almost tripled what I made in, that's crazy to think about. Sorry. I almost tripled from what I made in June to what I made in July. And when I did that, I had to make more shifts and changes. Like, if you actually are planning to grow your business exponentially, no, it is going to come with a lot of changes. And you cannot operate your business in the same way or in the same level that you were doing before. So if you really want to, like, if you're not even earning $10,000 a month yet, that's like level number 1. You got to get to $10,000 a month. But once you get to $10,000 a month, you can't operate a $20,000 business with a $10,000 mindset. You can't operate a $50,000 business with a $20,000 mindset. And it's not just the mindset, but it's who you're being. So when I was operating my business in June, I was still doing most of the work myself. I was not delegating anything. And so now I've brought on a sales team member. Where's the Madonna outfit? In the closet, man. What in the world? I brought on a new team member for sales. I've also brought on a VA. I hired a VA to work with me for an entire quarter. I'm working with her for an entire quarter. And I also brought on an accountant to help me manage the finances, because honestly, I just don't have time to do that. Like, I'm doing so many other things. And as I continue to grow in my business, I'm going to have to take a step back from a lot of the things that I've become really comfortable at doing right now. But if I really want my business to grow, I want to be able to honor and respect more clients and to help more people to have a job and to open up more jobs in the workforce. I'm going to have to be willing to take a step back and allow my team to do some of the work for me. So, Mike, if you're still on here, I think that's a really good answer to your question. There was this really good quote. I'll have to find it, Mike. I'll send it to you. It's by a man named Alex Navis. And I don't think he actually said it. It was my interpretation of like this whole training that he did, but it was what really resonated with me. And I think that was one of the shifts for me when I went from, the 10K mark to the 20K mark. One of those shifts that took me from June to July, I am a firm believer that you should not work for free. So, honestly, I'm gonna hire the person that's the best fit for me when it comes to things. Right now, I'm doing my own content and I'm doing my own copywriting. But when I get to the point where I'm hiring a copywriter, I will definitely take a look at your stuff, Mario. And I will not keep you on the back burner. I can't believe your only question, Joelle, is where's the Madonna outfit? You should be asking, where's my next strategy session call so that I can get my group rolling and going. Right now, Mario, all of everything that I'm making is all organic. I'm not doing any kind of ads funnels yet. I'm building my business completely organically. and I'm doing a really darn good job at it. And the way that I coach my clients right now on their groups is some of them have ads already in place, and we've used their ads a little bit to help grow their group, which has been great. But the organic traffic to their group has been better than the ads traffic. And that's kind of my focus, is I focus on how to bring people in organically and to do it in a larger scale than what anyone else out there is teaching. The method I created, I built off of other stuff. I didn't learn it from other people on Facebook, and I do something completely different. So the C5 strategy is very different than what other people out there are offering. Are there any other questions? We've been live for about 35 minutes. Do you have a Facebook page or group? I have a Facebook page. I haven't really done anything with it yet. I'm going to, but I just haven't. Right now I've been focusing on my profile and focusing on my client groups. And then I also have one that's specifically a group specifically for my clients right now. And then I help out with a couple other groups. Last year, I had a couple different groups that I operated. And when my son fell ill and had a brain tumor, I actually handed over the reins to somebody else. So I took a step back from what I was doing on Facebook last year. But then if you didn't hear my story earlier, I realized that I was telling my kids to pursue their dreams and that I had kind of given up on mine whenever all those stuff happened with my son. And I realized that I couldn't tell them to pursue their dreams and me not pursue mine, because at the end of the day, if you don't know anything about parenting yet, here's the truth of the matter. Kids will do what you do, not what you say. And so I knew I needed to pursue what I really desired in life so that my kids would also do the same thing. Man, is it really about leaving a legacy? Maybe that's it. So if there are no other questions for tonight, I know I've said this like 3 or 4 times now. It's the C5 strategy, man. It's the C5 strategy. You'll see it up in my, there's these 9 photos that you can feature. And in the 9 photos, I actually have my logo that my amazing brand strategist built out for me. And you can take a look at that. It's in my 9 photos. How long did it take you to put all your content together? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm still working on it. I don't know. I kind of feel like when you're scaling your business, like you're still working on content. And the thing is, you just start somewhere. Hi, Gay. It's great to see you. I haven't seen you in a really long time. And we don't even live that far from each other. I mentioned this before. I'll say it again since you're just now tuning in. My business is Cierra Lueck Consulting, and I actually help small businesses to make a big impact online. We utilize Facebook groups to take their brand and turn it into a movement. And so there's a lot of Facebook groups out there that are spammy or dead, or only the admin posts are the ones that get engagement. And so I help to super boost the engagement so that people are not only excited to be in the group, but they're also excited to be sold to. And every time they get sold to, they raise their hand. Like, people start raising their hand. And instead of you having to chase clients down, now clients are actually reaching out to you and asking for, what is it that you offer? How can you help me? How can you help me get to XYZ? So, as far as putting the content together, again, Dre, it starts off with one thing. You just start with one thing at a time, and it's just like a baby learning how to walk. The baby doesn't walk first. The baby doesn't come out running. You actually have to learn how to crawl, and then once you learn how to crawl, then you have to learn how to walk, and then once you learn how to walk, then you can run. Once you learn how to run, then you can start jumping. So, that's kind of how it is in business. You start small. So I started with one offer, and over the next month, we're actually working on, and I've already sold this a couple times, but we're working on a front end offer, and we're working on a back end offer, because I've realized some gaps that I've talked to a lot of people that they really, really need. And so we're working on those offers to meet the need in the marketplace. Great consulting. What niche? Facebook groups. I consult in Facebook groups. So we do organic marketing with Facebook groups, but we do it in a way, like I said, like I'm a community engagement strategist. So we take brands, we turn them into movements, we create a community around a brand. This is last question. That's great. I love it. You know what? Nobody answered my question tonight. My question was, if you could make one change in the world around you, what would it be? Smart woman, so dedicated. I just haven't been on a lot lately. a lot going on with my husband's health. I hope he's doing okay. I remember he had some stuff going on before too. So I'll keep you in my prayers. That's tough. Actually, in the last few days, it's been kind of a weird week. In the last few days, I know 4 different people who have had like a death in the family and have been like working remotely so that they can go to funerals and stuff like that. And then I had a few other friends who, you know, had an off week in business where somebody reached out to them and said something that wasn't really nice to hear. I had a week last week where somebody came and criticized me about, you know, not spending too much time on Facebook because it meant that I wasn't taking really good care of my kids and that there's no way that my kids could be homeschooled well because I'm spending time on Facebook. So, you know, it's a weird week. Maybe it's the tides are turning. Hi, Hamud. Wow. So people have trickled in and trickled out and trickled in and trickled out. It's pretty amazing. I sang a song at the very beginning. The song was A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman. And so if you didn't get to see that part, you might want to go back and watch this on the replay after I end the live video. You can go back and watch it on the replay like a few minutes after. Oh, yeah. So Israel, my son, who's 12, I actually told a little bit about his story earlier. He had brain surgery in March, and this was something we prayed about and we put our faith out there for. They were going to do an invasive surgery where they actually had to remove the skull, and they said, they called us back like a month later and they were like, hey, so we think that he qualifies for a less invasive procedure. And they ended up just doing a little tiny hole and doing laser ablation, where they used lasers to burn out and remove the tumor. And so they were able to remove the tumor. He has been seizure free. We actually have a follow-up in September, like late September, to start tapering off his medicine. And also he had a little bit, like one of his optical nerves had gotten damaged a little bit, like not like damaged, but like injured, kind of like when you get a bump on the head and you have a bruise for a while, except when it's in here, it lasts a little bit longer. And his eyes have been evening out, and his vision has gotten better and better over time. So, I mean, he's doing great. He's seizure free. And yeah, I'm really proud of him. Like he's stepped up as like being somebody who's so strong and so inspirational. And I can't wait for him to tell his story on stages someday. I see Mario answered my question. So help the helpless people, starving people. So I challenge you, Mario. How would you do that? What would you need to do, and what would you need to put in place to be able to accomplish that? So that's one of the things. Do you have a lot of starving people in your area? Like in my direct sphere of influence, I don't have a lot of starving people, but I do have a lot of business owners out there who are trying to make a big impact on the world around them. And so I like to help them out. I go live every Tuesday, and you are always welcome. Even if I'm doing a training, you are always welcome to ask questions on my Tuesday live. So that's when the next AMA is. Every single Tuesday you can ask questions. I just don't always put that it's an Ask Me Anything, but you can always ask questions on my Tuesday live. If you guys have no other questions, I might hop off for the night. I just want to remind you, I sang at the beginning. After doing all my trainings all day, I sang at the beginning. Probably should have been drinking some more water. It almost feels like my throat is super dry. Sang A Million Dreams because honestly, like Mario's thing about helping the helpless people. So the question I asked tonight is, if you could make one change in the world around you, and I'm not just talking about the entire world, I'm talking about your direct sphere of influence. If you could make one change in the world around you, what would it be? And his answer was helping the helpless people and the starving people. And the thing is that there's no way that you can achieve that on your own. Like even Mother Teresa, she didn't achieve it on her own. She rallied people together to bring in the resources, and she rallied people together to bring in the tools necessary. Same thing with any other great men and women throughout history. There's no way that they did it alone. Is their name the one that's in history? Yeah. But I think it says, there's a quote, it says, to the victor go the editing rights. instead of to the victor go the spoils, to the victor go the editing rights to history. And so, you know, the person's name is in there, but there's no way that any great men or women did that on their own. When you achieve something great in life, it is because you built a team around you and you lead a team of leaders. Good night. I won't forget to check my inbox, Mario. I got you, bro. It's like the next thing that I do after I jump off my lives. Any specific time? Oh, Dre, I wish. It looks like I've been going live at about 7. And maybe that should just be my time. Sometimes I go live a little bit earlier. I try to hit it live earlier because I have a lot of friends that are overseas that want to be able to attend. But like right now, one of my friends is sleeping. 60-hour community service project for her senior year on Epic Charter School. I can't wait to see what she comes up with. That's so cool. I'd love to hear. Please share that with me once she decides. And Jacob says, I would love to encourage those around me to get to the next level and change their lives. So I would challenge you, Jacob, to decide what the next level is, because right now saying anyone for any next level could mean a lot of things, and it's going to be very hard to target and actually help those people if you haven't decided what that next level is. So like for instance in business, like if you're a business that helps somebody get to 10K a month is a very different business than a business that helps another business get to 50 to 100K a month. Very different businesses than the businesses that help businesses scale from, you know, $1 million in revenue to more. You know, those are very different businesses, but they're all helping people get to the next level. And so if you can identify what that next level is that you want to change in other people's lives, then that will help you to hone in and actually start taking action towards it. One of the things that I like to talk to people about is if you're imagining like you go to Google and you're wanting to go to a restaurant. So this is one of the like funny things that people argue about all the time, right? Is where do you want to eat? I don't know, where do you want to eat? And so you imagine you want to go to a restaurant, but you don't know which one. How are you going to plug it into the map and ever get there? How are you going to find the milestones? Like, okay, we have to turn left at this light up here. We have to go straight at the stop sign. We have to cross over the railroad tracks. You don't even know what the milestones are. You can't know what the milestones are. You can't know if you're ever arriving. It's like, how will you know when you get there? If you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you arrive? And so if you can pick the target that you're aiming for, you're going to get there a lot faster just by making a decision. And I talked about making decisions earlier. I always choose McDonald's. Why? Why? They're my favorite restaurant here locally right now is called Bricktown Brewery. They make this like freaking amazing salad, and I always add extra stuff to it. I tell them, you know, drop the raisins. I don't need that. Add in the cilantro. Give me, instead of the fried chicken or grilled chicken or whatever, give me the fried fish. They do like a codfish or something like that, and it's so good. It's so good. It has avocado on it, or I asked them to add it. And bacon. I like bacon. Some people don't. My brother-in-law doesn't eat bacon. He doesn't eat pig at all. You left, ran a marathon, came back, and I'm still on. I know, right? If you're actually really wanted to run a marathon, I have a client who helps people do that. You need a Happy Meal for your anger. You're so welcome, Mike. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was one of my longest lives. I'm really glad that you guys I hope you got value out of it. If there was something really, really good, let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway was from this tonight. And if there is something that you felt compelled to take action on, drop it down in the comments below. I'd be glad to check in on you and see how that action is going. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm here every single Tuesday, so if you guys have more questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and I will answer them on the next live. Make sure you tag my name so that I can come back and write those questions down for the next live. That's a great question. I'll answer that on the next live. No, I'm just kidding. What kind of person doesn't like bacon? I think that he has a background. He grew up for a little while loving the Jewish culture, and so that's why. But love him. Love them. Also love bacon. So you guys have a wonderful night. I will talk to you again next Tuesday.